Please do not take this lightly. Conditions today are favorable for large, long-track, potentially violent tornadoes, and they may be...
I moved out here in April of 2013 from New England. On May 20th, started out as a normal day, and then the newscasters started talking about a tornado. I didn't take it seriously. I was used to newscasters in Massachusetts blowing blizzards out of proportion. My sister called me as the newscasters were saying, if you're not underground, you're not going to survive. She told me that I needed to get on the floor as flat to the ground as possible. As I was laying there, still talking on the phone with my sister, I told my sister, I said, I cannot stay here. I said, it's going to suck me away. So I crawled into the bathroom and laid there and screamed with her on the phone with me. When it was over, she said, open your eyes and tell me what you see. After I cleared the debris out of my face, I looked up and I saw the sky.
I was at work. We got word that a tornado was coming through. We had the local weather forecast on, and I could see the area that the tornado was going through. I knew that she was at home. The cells were all jam-packed, so I spent about 20 minutes trying to get a hold of her and couldn't. So when the tornado had passed, I got into my car and I got stuck over on the 4th Street Bridge, and it was just unbelievable. It was just utter destruction everywhere. The only way I can describe it is it was just like looking into hell. Everything was just destroyed. I made my way into the house to try and find Lynn. We're digging through the house and couldn't find her anywhere. After about an hour or so of looking through the neighborhood and looking around the area, being sure that she was dead, a message finally made it through on the cell phone where she said that she had gone over to the Warren Theater, and I luckily met her up with her over there.
I was blessed to be the pastor of the First United Methodist Church prior to being the district superintendent, and also challenged to be the pastor of that church at a time when they experienced some terrible tornadoes coming through the Moore community. One of the very first phone calls I received following the tornadoes getting through the community was from Bill Junk, the president of our United Methodist Foundation. I wasn't expecting it, but was certainly glad to hear his voice. And then the next thing that I was glad to hear was the question, how can we be of help to you? You know, at that time, many people had lost everything. They didn't even know where they were going to get a meal, a place to stay. They just didn't know what was next for them, and they were coming to one of the places where they expected they could receive some support. We had no power, we had lots of things that we didn't have, but we had shelter, thank God. And people came and were in our Family Life Center, which was also something that came about in great part because of the support of the foundation. I do remember particularly knowing the answer to Bill's question when a certain family came in, a gentleman who had been raised in the church but was completely inactive in the church. He came and he brought one of the very few things that was left of that home after the tornado, which was a church mug from First United Methodist Church of Moore that was his mother's.
We were digging through the rubble of the house, and every piece of glassware that you could find was shattered. But we found a glass First United Methodist Church mug, you know, something that had made it through the storm like that was that fragile, needed to go back to the church where it belonged. After thinking about it for a day or two and cleaning up ourselves, decided, you know what, we ought to go back to the church.
They didn't have any clothes left, they didn't have any food, they didn't really even have a place to stay. And I had that question that Bill asked me in my thoughts, and knew that we needed to provide people with immediate resources, immediate funds. And so the answer to that question was gift cards. We need Walmart, we need food, we need restaurants, we need a way for people to get a motel room, we need immediate financial assistance today. And within hours, many thousands of dollars was delivered to More First from the United Methodist Foundation to distribute to our neighbors without question of their need, but simply making every effort to be the church and to respond in an emergency. And that didn't just go on in the first week, but the second and the third week. As people made donations to the foundation, we were able to resource gift cards for the needs of the community, for our neighbors. And I'll never forget that and always be grateful for that.
More First is awesome. I probably couldn't talk for like 2 months without crying, and they were so understandable. To see how they treated us and see how they treated other people, that's the church that I want to belong to and that I do belong to. I've grown tremendously in the church. I'm on the Family Life Committee. They're focused not inward. I should say we're focused not inward. We're focused outward. If somebody needs help, they're given help. During tragedy, during everyday living, there's help there.
They helped us when things were just at the rock bottom and in our lives. There's just no way we could ever repay them, and we just really wanted to be around a group of people like that cared as much for other people as they did.